I would say that the sisters have always been involved in this kind of work, helping on the margins of life where government hasn't stepped in yet. Our tradition was that we always cared for those less fortunate.
There have been millions of refugees coming out of different situations around the world, and there still are about 50 million refugees in refugee camps. So why Central America, sister?
Well, we started a mission in Guatemala in the 60s, and the sisters were very involved in that. In the 80s, when this great influx of refugees, because of the political situation and the civil wars that were raging there, the sisters in Buffalo, when they couldn't handle any more refugees, brought them to the Canadian border. At that time, interested citizens in Fort Erie would receive the call at the Canadian border and go and collect these families that were fleeing from hardship. So the Chancery office in Hamilton had a woman, Leonore Sorger, who was working with our sister Agnes Ward.
Right.
And Agnes had been a missionary in Guatemala for years, so she was keenly aware of the oppression in Guatemala and the killings of Guatemalan people. So she got right into this need. And so she and Leonore would meet the refugees as they got off the bus in Hamilton and bring some of them to the mother house here, because their first need was for shelter and food and security.
The number of families, I was trying to count them. There were probably hundreds of them that were took home into Hamilton, right? And so this is the apartment where they were hosted as family, right?
Yes.
When they arrive, they will have their 4 meals here. They will have snacks. They can go out for coffee in the dining room, and they were part of the family. They were part of it. So, Sister Michaela, out of the many stories and the many families that were housed here at the Mother House, do you remember Rosemary Luanga? Early in 1988, Rosemary Luanga had 6 children and was escaping the genocide in Uganda, and she came via Kenya as a refugee.
I think that what was the little one's name?
Josephine.
Josephine.
It was
okay.
Josephine. Yeah.
And these are the tables that Josephine was small enough to walk under. She didn't have to crawl. She walked under them, and she went from table to table. And the sisters just loved it.
Yeah.
And
So
of course,
Rosemary had.
the more they laughed, the more she did it.
Her children right now are all in places because one
Yeah.
works for the CBC and so on, right? So they were
Very
well
well-educated,
educated.
yes.
This family will never forget the assistance of the sisters. And I will say that it was so important for Hamilton to receive this family, this large family. So,
That's wonderful.
is
Yeah.
that
So
a way to invest in Hamilton?
Yes.
Is to invest in people.
Investing.
And the first generation might not be the one that will give the big, that will pay the big chunk of taxes, but it will be the children of them for sure.
Yes.
And that is the game. So it's important for the country to know and for Hamilton to know that by welcoming new immigrants and new refugees is a great, great investment.
It's a gift to the community.
It's a gift to the community.